Hello, got an online order to pick up.
Have a good day, boss.
Thanks. All set to go. Hey guys, it's carsonmtech here, back with another video, and in this video, I'm going to be checking out the brand new the brand new DJI Mini 2, which is the successor to the original DJI Mavic Mini. And this drone has been out now for a little over a year, and since I've had this drone, it has probably been one of my #1 most favorite drones to own, simply because it is one of the more convenient drones to be able to just throw in your bag, take along with you, and get up into the sky quickly and easily. However, this does lack a couple of key features, which is where the new Mini 2 comes in and fills in a lot of those gaps. So in this video, I'm going to be covering this new Mini 2 by going through a quick unboxing, my first flight, as well as my impressions, the new features that are in the Mini 2 compared to the older Mini 1, and then finally I'll be ending it off with my opinion of whether or not it is worth it to purchase this over the original Mini, as well as if you should upgrade if you already own the Mini 1. With that being said, I'm going to stop rambling and get right into the unboxing. Alright, so first off, taking a look at the outside of the box, what you get is some images on the front and back of everything, almost everything that is inside this Fly More combo, and then on the sides you get some information about some of the features of the drone. The other side you got nothing, and then finally on the bottom you've got some dangers and warning stuff here on the bottom, but that's not super important. So with that being said, let's take a look at what's inside the box. Right up front you will see the bag that comes with the Fly More combo, and there is nothing else inside the box, so I'm going to set that aside. Comes with a carrying over the shoulder strap, but inside, first off, let's just pull out the drone and take a look at the drone itself. It does come included with a bunch of stickers as usual, but this drone overall looks very similar now already to the existing Mavic Mini, which is expected because these are both under 249 grams, meaning that if you're in the average country, you will not have to worry about registering this drone because it falls under the 250 gram minimum where you have to start registering your drone. However, that does vary from country to country, so make sure to look into your local laws and regulations. I'll be talking about this a little bit more in a second. You do get the newer, updated drone controller. So for me personally, I really enjoy this controller over the older controller style. The prior controller used to look like this, and you would have the little things that came down and held your phone down here, but overall wasn't the best. So now DJI appears to be moving over to this new style of controller where it allows for your phone to be up here on top, and you can pretty much put any size phone into this thing now because it can get big. Of course, on the bottom next to the USB-C charging port, you do have the joysticks that screw into the controller. So again, I'm going to be setting this aside, but I will be touching on it a little bit more later. Next up, you do have the accessories, and taking a look inside this box, you got a number of things. Firstly, out of the box, you have got the phone cords. Right next to that is your 3 battery charger, and because this is the Fly More combo, it comes with a total of 3 batteries, meaning you've got a total of 93 minutes of flight time, theoretically. Also next to that, you've got your charging cord, so this is what you go and plug in your battery chargers to. And then finally, you've got a charging brick that cable goes and plugs into. You've also got the information manual. Up here on the top, though, you've got more accessories, so make sure to look up here. And up here is where you get your additional propellers. So this does come with a set of 6 more propellers. You've also got more joysticks, so if you lose any, you got those. Finally, you have got your tiny screwdriver, which is used to remove the propellers. And just like that, this is everything that you get inside the box of the Mini 2 Fly More combo. The main things that distinguish this over just the Mini 2 is the fact that you do get this carrying case. That's not included in the regular one. You get 2 extra sets of propellers, and then you also have the additional 2 batteries as well as the 3 battery charging pack. Also, on the drone itself, you've got this propeller protector that does not come with the regular Mini 2 either. So the biggest thing, if you're looking between just the Mini 2 or the Mini 2 Fly More combo, there is a $150 difference. Just what you're looking at here is $450. But if you upgrade to that Fly More combo, which I always would recommend going with if you've got the additional money, which is $600, that you will get the additional accessories, which I personally think are worth it. The batteries in itself pay for it. So no different than before, the legs do fold out as previously. I do notice already up front that the plastic on this, I'm not sure if it's different, but it feels a little bit different, and the way that these legs fold out feel a little bit stronger than the prior Mini one, so that is a plus. On the rear, you now have a USB-C port, and right next to that, you do of course get that micro SD card slot. And that's where you're gonna put in your memory card to record video to. The batteries slot into the rear and just slide right in. The camera now has a 4K logo on it, so this is a big distinguisher between the older Mini 1 and this new Mini 2. They wanted you to know that this has 4K. And so that is the Mini 2, and just looking once again at its new controller up close, as you can see, you do get that glorious USB-C charger on the bottom. I love that. I love USB-C, USB-C everything. Up here underneath the phone holder is where you will get access to the phone connector, and then you can plug it right into the side of your phone once it's mounted up here. Although this is a little bit bigger than the Mini 2 itself now, I really think that this controller is much more better to hold in the hand. It feels better. It's more hefty, so it has a more heavy duty feel. And honestly, I wasn't too satisfied with the original Mavic Mini controller. This thing overall felt pretty cheap, but this one, it feels like it's made with much better plastic, as well as just, again, with that heavier weight, it just makes it feel more premium. So with that being said, let's get into my very first flight impressions. Let's go. And we ride on the flames till the morning light, baby, 'cause we're dynamite. And we holding the key, yeah, we're tight as can be. We're rolling, just like we please. Ooh, getting caught in the mist, there's so many that never get out. Alrighty, so let's get right into getting this up into the air. If you've watched any of my other videos in the past, this is pretty much no different than that, but I figured I would just go and show you quickly for anybody who hasn't seen this before. So first of all, you gotta, of course, unfold the legs of the drone and make sure to take off this gimbal protector over the camera. Then on your controller, take out the joysticks, which are stored on the bottom, screw those right on into the controller, and then slap your phone right into this holder, and you are all set. Now go and download the DJI Fly app on iOS or Android. It's available on both. And once you've got that downloaded, once you open it for the first time, it will go and set you through a little setup guide, and you'll have to sign in and create an account. But once you've done that, you will have the option to connect to aircraft. So you tap that down on the bottom right, find the DJI Mini 2, click on the camera view, and you won't see anything yet, but that's because you got to go and power on the controller and the drone. So to do that, you go press once quickly, press and hold. It'll turn on, you'll hear that tone. The same process for the drone itself, just flip it over, turn it on the same way. If this is the first time you're powering this on and connecting it to your account, you will have to go and register the drone and register it to your account. That will just allow DJI to go and link it to a specific DJI account and connect them. So make sure you do that, but I have now been connected, and so with that being said, let's go and take off. So the first thing that I want to mention now that this is up in the air is the fact that it is much quieter than the original DJI Mavic Mini. It is in pretty decently high winds right now, but when there isn't a lot of wind around, this thing doesn't sound like a herd of bees anymore when it goes and takes off, which is great if you're trying to fly somewhere and not be disturbing of wildlife or something like that, or just have people looking at you and being annoyed that you're flying a drone. But aside from that, moving on to some of the features that this has, the first thing that I was super excited to see when I saw the specs of the Mini 2 is the fact that it now has 4K 30 frames per second video recording. And this is something that I really wanted in the original Mavic Mini, but they just didn't add, and it's probably because they saw this drone coming, so they didn't want to go and add 4K to the first drone because they want to incentivize people to go and purchase this one instead. So to get 4K recording going, you just got to go and click on the little film strip above the record icon, and then right there you will see 4K. So just select 4K, and you can choose between 24 frames per second, 25, or 30. This is how that new sensor looks. The sensor size is no different than the original Mavic Mini, but it does support this 4K. And with this 4K, you get a new feature that is zoom. So you can zoom in on your video right from the app. If you tap the little 1X currently, you can zoom in and do 2 times. And this is a digital zoom, so it isn't an optical zoom, meaning that it will be lower resolution than you would probably be expecting. But still, it's really cool to have this feature because DJI for the longest time wasn't giving this feature to even the higher end drones in their lineup, but now one of their more budget drones has this option. And there are a couple of ways to zoom here. You can go and just tap that button. You can go tap, hold it, and then move up and down to zoom in a little bit more gradually. But you can also go press and hold the function button on the top left of the controller and then use your gimbal wheel to zoom in this way as well. And this is my favorite way to do it because you can adjust the speed fully here and do pretty much whatever speed you want. And you can get some really unique shots by having this here. If you go and swap into 1080p recording rather than 4K, you also get the option to zoom in 4 times. So I'll just click record so you can see this. It doesn't look great, but still having that capability of zooming in 4 times, if you're somebody who doesn't really do post-processing, this could be a really great feature to be able to do. On top of that higher resolution video, you now have the option to shoot photos in RAW. So if you're somebody who goes and edits their photos after the fact, then this will be ideal for you. You will now be able to go and enable that. It's really quite easy to turn on RAW shooting. All you got to do is switch into photo mode, tap the 3 dots in the top right-hand corner, go to the camera tab, and right there at the top, you can change the format from the default JPEG to the JPEG plus RAW shooting. And also below that, I'd recommend changing the size from 16:9 to 4:3 because 4:3 is the native sensor size. So if you want to take in all of the image data from the processor that's available, make sure to change to that as well. So overall, the photos out of this that I've been getting are astounding. Although this is the same sensor as the original Mavic Mini, just the fact that you get so much more flexibility as a creator after the fact is fantastic. Moving on from the camera though, one of the bigger features that will 100% go and be underrated is the new level 5 wind resistance. And that may not mean a lot to a lot of people, but that now means that this Mini 2 can fly up to 16 meters per second, which is around 36 miles per hour. And you really can tell the difference when flying this in higher winds compared to the Mavic Mini 1. It's something that I really kind of overlooked myself when I was buying this, but it has been a huge help when going and flying it around. I was flying in medium to high wind the other day in a city, and I only got 2 total wind warnings on my app in a total of around an hour of flight. And if I was flying the Mavic Mini original in that same conditions, I would have probably gotten 15 to 20 of those same little pop-ups. Because of that, it also allows you to now go and fly up to 36 miles per hour in sport mode. So if you flip into sport mode and you're flying around right now, it's got a weird tilt to it, but that's just because it's battling that wind. You can fly so much faster now in sport mode because of this higher level 5 wind resistance. Helping you out with this higher wind resistance is the larger battery. The battery now can put up with the drone flying 31 total minutes, and although I have not totally gotten 31 absolute minutes thus far, I have been able to get around 27 total minutes when flying in general conditions, and that's just because I usually try to fly my drone until around 12 to 15% is remaining, and it will land with about 12 to 15%. So I assume if I would fly the entire time down to 0, it would most definitely get to that full 31 minutes. The Mini 2 now has OcuSync 2.0 as well, and that is why you've got this larger controller, because this has OcuSync 2.0 in it. Although I originally didn't really think it was a big deal that the Mavic Mini had Wi-Fi only transmission, and I didn't really have too many issues. Looking at it side by side, this just outperforms the Wi-Fi by far. I didn't notice any dropouts at all so far from my typical flying conditions, whereas with the Mavic Mini Original, if you just went over a little bit of something else, like you were just kind of at the top of a hill, you'd go and lose signal, whereas this, I have not encountered that issue at all. Although you're not supposed to go and fly like, you know, miles away because that's outside of visual line of sight. When you're flying in somewhere where there's a lot of interference or there's a lot of things around, it is great to have that additional security of having OcuSync 2.0, considering it can support up to 10 kilometers transmission distance, or around 6¼ miles. Wrapping up this Mini 2 in the sky demo is quick shots and other autonomous flight modes. Now with the Mini 2, you get the ability to go and have droney, you've got rocket, circle, helix, and then also the new boomerang feature to go and have an autonomous flight mode for you. And these already were great, but I do like that they added the boomerang. It's no different than the original Mini or other DJI drones. If you want to use it, all you got to do is select the one that you want to choose and then fly close to your object that you want to track. In my case, I'm going to go and put it on myself. It should recognize you, but if not, you can go and draw a box around the object that you want to trace, and then you just press start. And it will do everything for you, and at the end, it'll add some music if you're into that. And it will also go and do some speed ramps for you and have it all set up for you if you're not somebody who's great at doing manual tracking. Overall, these modes have been amazing. And on top of that, they've also now added panorama modes for the Mini 2. And these panorama modes are the ones that I've found myself actually using more than anything else. And specifically, I've been using the new wide angle view. You've got the classic 180-degree panorama as well, and then finally a really cool sphere, which is a 360-degree image, and it will do it all for you. It'll stitch them all together, and then at the end, you'll get a 360-degree view from the air from your drone. Perfectly timed. Now that the drone is low on battery, I'm just going to bring it down and land it. You can land it in your hand, as always, if you're into that type of thing. No different than before. It's super easy to do. I'd go and make sure to click up there if you want to learn how to safely take off and land a drone from your hand, specifically the Mavic Mini. Now that I've got this on the ground, if you're somebody who likes to go and share the photos and videos that you get off of your drone pretty instantly from your phone itself, then this next feature is going to blow your socks off. So to get into this new feature, it is called QuickTransfer. And to do so, you just go to playback by clicking the playback icon. In here, you'll see the little lightning bolt download icon up here at the top. And in here, you're gonna have to click on switch to quick transfer mode. In quick transfer mode, you can quickly transfer media between the drone's SD card and your device. For example, I'm gonna go and download this 3-minute long video. So once I click download, if I do full download, you can fully download the entire clip, or with this quick transfer, you can now download a trimmed section of that video. But I'm going to do full download, and as you can see, it's now right now only at about 1.6 megabits per second, which is interesting because this quick transfer mode is supposed to go and allow downloading up to 20 megabytes per second, but it does not appear to be doing that right now. It's probably interference between my microphone and this would be my guess, but in theory, quick transfer mode is supposed to be faster and allow you to go and have that trim download and cool stuff like that. To exit this quick transfer mode, you can just click the little icon again, or you can also manually turn off this quick transfer by pressing and holding the button here on the bottom until it goes back to flashing yellow. And while we're talking about LEDs on this drone, if you've got a keen eye, you may have noticed that on the front, they have now added a new slit LED.
And something that's especially cool about this LED is that DJI allows you to customize it to your liking. You can go and disable this altogether. You can turn it on to rainbow or breathing or just a solid color. And in each of these, you can customize the color of your liking. So overall, it's kind of cool addition.
So with all this information being thrown at you, that is pretty much it as far as all the new functions and features of the Mini 2 goes. Overall, I've got to say my initial thoughts of this drone is I really, really like it. It is a great drone, and it builds off of the original Mini in ways that you just really didn't see a huge use for, but turned out to be really helpful. So the 4K video recording, you've got the higher wind resistance, you've got the customizability of the LED, you've got the quick transfer, you've got a ton of other things that it now has as well. And it's just overall a really well-built drone. If I had to be nitpicky and choose a couple things that I didn't like about this drone, the biggest thing that I'd probably have to say is the color of the drone. The color is just not ideal for seeing when it's up in the sky, especially when it's an overcast day like today. I really wish DJI went and sold a orange that would match maybe the propellers, or a red. One of those colors would be much easier to see in the sky than this. Even white, I feel like sometimes would be easier than this. I feel like they made this color to go and blend into the sky if possible, which really stinks when you have a smaller drone like this, especially when you're flying it further away. So that'd probably be my biggest complaint. Also, I still wish they would add in the ability to have manual video exposure controls. And finally, one other thing that I wish they would have included in the Fly More combo is an additional USB-A to USB-C cable to charge the remote controller. Right now, it only came with one cable, which isn't a huge deal, especially because this controller has so much longer of a battery life than going through a couple sets of batteries for the drone. But it just stinks that you have to wait for either the batteries to charge or you have to wait for the controller to charge. You don't got two cables to charge if you don't own any other cables already. With that being said, if you're out there looking for a new drone, this is 100% worth the extra $50 over just the original Mavic Mini. This is such a great drone that packs so many features in such a small package for a really reasonable price. But if you're looking at the Fly More combo, which is an extra $100 for a total of $600, would it still be worth it? In my opinion, I would say yes. I mean, you still cannot get any other drones out on the market for $600 that offers the ease of use that this one does. And I personally always would recommend the Fly More combo if you have the additional cash. I know it can make it more tough for a lot of people, but just if you can spare the extra $100 to get the Fly More combo of this, I don't think you would regret it. And finally, answering the question of whether or not it is worth it to purchase the Mini 2 over the original Mavic Mini if you already own the original Mavic Mini. I've got to say, if I was somebody who already owned the Mavic Mini, it really just depends on your use cases of your drone. If you're somebody who can handle 4K video on your phone or your computer, and you use that already and you're looking for that extra added functionality, or you're somebody who flies in pretty frequently high wind environments such as a beach or something like that, then this is 100% a great upgrade. If I was somebody who was low on cash and was on the fence of whether or not to upgrade or not, I would go out and sell my Mavic Mini and purchase this over the other one any day. This one has so much more to it that makes it so much better of an experience. Just in the fact that you can go and handle the higher wind, you can have the higher video resolution, and have the additional flight modes that weren't there previously. I just really enjoyed this drone, and overall, I've had a very satisfactory experience with this so far. And so with that being said, and my mouth being frozen, if you're looking to purchase either the Mini 2 or the Mini 2 Fly More combo yourself, I will be leaving links to purchase both of them down in the description below. And if you want to see future videos like this from me, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below, as well as like this video to let me know that you liked it. You can check out my last video by clicking up there, and my original Mavic Mini 1 video down there. But with that being said, that is it for this video. I'm gonna go get some warmth. See ya. Peace.